think, Mims? Ice cold water. Kind of hard on a stomach first thing, isn't it, darling? Monster. I love having a little bit of snow on the ground because you get to see all the different tracks everywhere. But unfortunately, this is the wrong snow. It's so powdery that the tracks have filled in behind whatever made them. So it's impossible to tell. At this point, I can kind of tell by gait and the size of the dent in the ground. So it looks like we've had a bigger animal, coyote size. We've got a couple of smaller sets of tracks that are probably a fox or a fisher. And then we've got lots of cat tracks. And then obviously over here, we've had a series of mice coming back and forth, or voles or something across there. I haven't seen yet. I know Allison walked out of the creamery the other day and an owl flew out of the big maple up there during the day. Yesterday, in fact. I haven't seen any owl. When owls catch a rodent in the snow, they leave wing imprints and a big dent in the snow and sometimes blood. Haven't seen any of that, but yeah, I love following the tracks. I'm gonna have to set up a game camera out here because this is a hive of activity here just overnight. The snow's been down for days, and each morning I come out and there's fresh tracks. It's always fascinating to me what we share our farm with. Wing marks in the snow. Little bird. Just dawned on me that it snowed days ago and I haven't been out to check the solar panels. They're clear, fortunately, and the new charge controller is working well. I put this in, I don't know, a month or two ago. The old one wasn't doing the job for whatever reason, don't know why. This one's putting in 15 volts. We've got good voltage on the and output on the fence charger, and brush the snow off the battery, and the battery's looking good. We had to buy a new battery, and that may have been the problem with the whole system, but the other charger wasn't charging that battery. I'm just coming out here to look at this pile of firewood logs. I think part of my goal today is to cut this up into firewood. Some of this I was hoping to use for lumber. There's some nice cherry logs in here, and a couple of yellow birch, which can be really pretty when it's sawn into lumber, but I think it's been sitting here for long enough. I'm just gonna make it into firewood. Probably need to get Gidget the skid steer going and get out here and bump this pile to break it free. It'll be probably pretty frozen. I don't know, I'll bring a pry bar and a cant hook out here first before I get the skid steer out here. There is an easy path while the ground is frozen, but during spring thaw it gets very wet here, so I wouldn't want to bring it here. The silly thing is there's this pile of sawmill waste and a sawmill in the way, or I could just drive straight to here instead of having to go all the way around. That's something I've been hoping to fix in the next year or so. I'd like to reorient the sawmill and make life a little easier. It's been great having it here. It's just starting to get in the way. Happy to report day 2 after the heater repair on the compressor for the bulk tank. It's up to temperature, it's keeping temperature, it's working just great. So thankfully it was a simple and non-expensive solution. And I'm also noticing that the little kludge, what the heck is it? The thing with the red numbers flickering? It's called an Inkbird. It can control both a heater and a cooler. You create a set point, and then it turns on and off at that set point based on a thermometer probe. They use it for controlling greenhouses and beer fridges and all kinds of stuff. I have it set to control the circulator pump on the underfloor heating for the creamery. And it had been struggling in the coldest part, it was struggling to maintain any kind of set point temperature. And all of a sudden, 2 days ago, it started working. So, yay, maybe there was air in the system or something that finally got worked out. But I had to raise the set point last night because it kept turning off because it was actually working more efficiently than it had been working. So, thankful for small favors. And having put warm milk in the tank, the agitator's going. So obviously it clicked on. We're chilling the warm milk that we just put in. That's fantastic. A little note, if you ever pour a slab and decide to put radiant heat coils in it, make sure you install a thermal probe in the slab. That would have made life so much easier. I wouldn't have to use that Inkbird thing to control the temperature, because there's no way to, if we put a thermometer to control the heating circuit in the make room, it would turn the floor off more often than not, both because of solar gain and also because we tried this. It would turn it off because of solar gain and also the heat generated by making, pasteurizing milk and making cheese, when the floor needs to be a constant temperature. So we run it slightly lower than to heat the room up using the set point. So it'll turn off on a hot day. It'll turn off on a hot day, but keep the floor circulating as soon as the temperature drops, rather than the lag that an air thermostat would take inside the make room. Probes in the cement for future reference. It's actually pretty nice out here in the sunshine. Finally getting around to doing a little bit of firewood work. I found that I didn't have to bring the skid steer over here. The logs would roll with the use of a cant hook, which is a sawmill tool for rolling cants, or square pieces of timber, or the log that you're turning into square pieces of timber, turning them over on the saw bed when you're milling timbers. Anyway, I'm picking away at it out here. I might have to go in soon. There's as lovely as it is in the sun, there's a bit of a wind, so it's probably in the teens with the wind chill. But because we're burning through firewood so fast, I want to get ahead of it and try and get some put up now, so we're not trying to burn this like tomorrow. It finally warmed up enough today, so 25 degrees Fahrenheit with a wind chill that drops it down to 14. But to warm the tractor, I brought it down the hill, gave the girls a new bale, and brought 2 more bales up the hill for the next 4 days, so 6 days from now, and that'll get us through the next deep cold period, because we're going to warm up for a couple days, and then we're going to plunge down into the cellar again with 0 degree Fahrenheit for the daytime temperatures and negative something overnight. And don't know about you, but I'm getting tired of the cold. I was doing the final check at night, and I realized I wore Crocs out here. So only 10 degrees. Anyway, everybody's fine, the boiler's fine. Time to go to bed. The wood boiler had burned out overnight. When I came down to check earlier, there wasn't hardly even a bed of coals. So I had to relight it from start. Temperature had gone down to 140. I'm happy to say that I got it going, and I'm out here a couple hours later checking on it, and it's up to 154, which is good. I'm going to lower the set point today because it's supposed to be warmer for the next couple days. So I don't need to be burning it as hot. Another thing I've failed to mention, I modified how this boiler is set up because we're not circulating to heat hot water storage. So the boiler water is just on a continual loop. Normally, the boiler itself turns the pump off, that circulator pump off at 120 degrees, and then kicks it back on. And there's supposed to be an automated valve down there that shuts off to allow just to circulate the water just around the boiler to heat it up faster. And then over 120 degrees, that valve slowly opens and mixes the water until it's up to about 140, and then it circulates. The mixer valve isn't there. It's just I've got it manually set. I've chosen to hardwire it's into an outlet to plug in the circulator full time, just circulating, because if this boiler fuels out, or like this morning, if that water had cooled down below 120 degrees, the pump would shut off, and there's no glycol in this system, so the pipes could freeze if for some reason it was out overnight, like if it stalled out right after I went to bed or something. So I just wanted that to circulate full time. Seems to be working great having it that way. This 120 degree set point on the boiler is supposed to keep a boiler from having cold water rush in on the hot walls and then condense and then corrode out the boiler. On a new boiler, that's absolutely right. Don't want that to happen. And hopefully a new boiler would be in a permanent setup and not some hokey thing like this in a shed in the middle of the field. So in this case, if it gets low and it comes back cold, I'm not going to fuss. This boiler is 15, 20 years old at this point, and maybe more, 25. And I've had it for 4 years now. I'm planning on buying a new boiler. This one may go to a workshop or something. I'm not too fussed about that amount. If there's corrosion, it's already happened. And who knows, that somebody overfired this boiler before I bought it, and it's had a weld done on a split because the tank burst. So it's had a hard life, and we're just going to use it, and it's working fantastic for right now. So thought I'd point that out. I just checked it. I'm going to turn this back on. I've lowered the set point for today about 15 degrees colder than it has been set, cooler than it's been set, just so I'm not burning through as much wood today when it's warmer for the next couple days and it doesn't need it. The last thing with this system, because there is no balance here, because there is no proper thermostat in the dairy, in the creamery make room floor, we're just doing it kind of by feel. So cooler temperature here means cooler temperature there. It'll set, and we'll set the set point on the Inkbird lower so that it turns off the slab. So last thing we want to do is get it too warm, although it's cloudy today, so solar gain won't be too much of an issue. How many bites does it take to get to the center of a silage bale? I just put this out here yesterday. And between spreading it out and pulling it and eating it, and for some reason there's something really good in the center that Dulcie wants. She's been out here for 10 minutes trying to pick away at the center. It's afternoon on Sunday the 26th, and I'm out here working on firewood. I've got a second bucket full right now. And it is lovely out in the sun. It's just above freezing, 33, 34 degrees Fahrenheit. A little bit of a breeze. It's making it workable, except we've got the conditions where the snow is that very granular pelletized snow. And anywhere I've driven the skid steer, in fact, anywhere I've walked back and forth repeatedly at this temperature is turning into ice. And so as I'm working here, I kind of kick the sawdust around from the chainsaw to blend in with the snow so I'm not sliding around. I'm probably only gonna get I'm gonna fill this bucket and take it back. I already had trouble the first time out getting up the little short hill onto the road because exactly the same thing. As soon as the tracks start to spin, they churn the snow into ice. So I'm gonna go dump this as soon as I've got the bucket loaded and maybe come back one more time before I head over to Split. I'd like to get this whole area cleared up. It's gonna be this mild again tomorrow, maybe a little colder, which might help with the snow Wednesday, but we might also get some snow Wednesday, which might make it impossible to work here. The calves, heifer calves, which are just down there, got out the other day. I'm glad it wasn't when I had the fence down. They decided to explore what I was doing with the firewood. It's Monday, the 27th of January, and I was reminded that a year ago, we had a spate of piglets born on the farm in less than ideal circumstances. So while I'm working on firewood, have a look back in the past at what I was up to. Hi, Ginge love. You having piglets? Okay, there's one dead one. Hi, baby. You had a nice warm nest, darling. 2 dead. Ginger love. 3 dead. Oh, Ginge. Hi, sweetie. I'm so sorry you lost some. I'm trying to get Ginger out of the woods. I've got the 2 piglets secured on the floor of the cab of the skid steer for the moment. The 2 living piglets. I'm gonna go back. I think she may be staying over there with the dead ones. She's such a stubborn pig, but she is one of our best sows. I mean, if it weren't for the weather. This goes against everything I generally do with pigs. Let's get some feet out of here. So I took these 2 living pigs away from Ginger, hoping to entice her out of the forest. She may still be in labor because she settled back down. I thought maybe she was going to hang out there because the dead piglets were still there. I brought them out. She won't follow. She's just snuggling deeper into her nest. But now I've got these piglets out here with me in the skid steer. There they are. Hi, little guy. To give them the best chance, now they're shivering like crazy because it is freaking cold. I have nothing to feed them right now. What I can do is give them a nice warm dry bed up. I'll put them in the shower downstairs bathroom with a heat lamp on them, and hopefully that'll buy me some time to get everything else done that I need to do, and then see where Ginger is and hopefully reintroduce these piglets to Ginger. Because once we take on feeding these piglets every 2 hours throughout the day, 24 hours a day, because they're newborns, they're ours. Basically, we have to take care of them as piglets, and we can't reintroduce them with the rest of them, and they won't be accepted, not without a lot of hassle. Try and reintroduce them to Ginger. If I can get her back in here to where the pig hut is and the hay, and we can manage it, instead of her breaking out into the forest where it's vile, they may have a chance with her, which would be better. All right, I'm just in the bathroom, in the shower, downstairs. This guest bathroom, but we use it for all kinds of livestock. Ducks, geese, piglets, calves. We've had it all in the shower. I've just got a heat lamp resting there, and I've got them in a box full of straw, or hay rather, and they seem to be nestled in. I'm not planning on keeping them for long. I'm hoping within an hour, once I can get some of the critical chores done, that I can go check Ginger and maybe put him back with her. It's not ideal. Okay, for the moment, here's the situation. Allison's at a food safety seminar. She got up and left at 7 o'clock. I was milking. Took care of milking. I fed the cows twice. Fed the calves. The snow, which was supposed to be flurries, is a full-blown snowstorm. And it's adding up fast. I've got to get to the feed store and get back. Mabel's getting closer to acting like she might give birth. Ginger is giving birth or has given birth, and I've got to go to the feed store, come back. I've got to take care of Mabel again. She'll need more hay, more water, because we can only put so much in that small pen, and I have to muck it out. I've got to wash all the milking equipment. This snow is just inconvenient. It was forecast. It was actually supposed to be a rainy day, and this could change over to rain, which is going to be a nightmare. It's been a little while, a couple hours probably, and Ellie and I are just checking the piglets. What do you think, puppers? What do you think? What do you think? Up. Don't wake up. Listen, we wake them up. What are they doing, puppy? What are they doing? I'm back down here in the forest with Ginger. I brought her some hay. She doesn't seem to be keen on going anywhere. So I think I'm going to bring the piglets back down and bring some more hay. Ginger really is a spectacular creature. She was born here on the farm. I think she's 6 years old, 5 or 6. She was a piglet here in the forest in a different section of the farm. And she has grown up here. And she is one of the best nest builders. Okay, this is the sled. I'm trying to pull it down to Ginger, and these two have fought their way out of their cardboard box and have stuck their noses out of the back of the sled. Okay, it's about as cozy as I can get them. I've tried piling the hay up over them a couple of times and they just flip out. Well, good morning, Ginger darling. Who's that little face I see poking out there? Well, look at that. Look at that. Your little kids are alive. Good girl, Ginge. Good girl. You're such a good mama. I brought some warm milk and mush grain for Ginger, so we're just gonna get her some food. Right hang there, James, love. There you go, sweetheart. Yeah, good girl. We do what we can with silly pigs who get silly notions of birthing in the forest. Look at that little tykes. Some mush. Good girl, Ginge. You're such a good pig. Yeah, you're such a good pig. I know. Here, tuck yourselves in there. Such a good mama, Ginger, love. You are such a good mama. To say all those piglets survived and thrived, and we've had several litters since then under much better circumstances.